You are a reflection of myself, and I am a reflection of you. If you're willing and able, please stand up, just quickly. And I know you are worthy of a standing ovation, so please give me a standing ovation. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It's so much fun that now I can say I started with a standing ovation. Like, our mind works in crazy, mysterious ways. And even though at some level, I know that I conned you into standing ovation, but a little part of me, the little bit of egoic part of me goes, I like that. And I honor that in me. And I really liked the Thinker song today. And I'm thinking, oh, I'd love to sprint onto stage and start with that. But then I realized that's my ego. Am I really the thinker? That's usually the last thing out of my mouth. How many times have you been in a situation and gone, blah, 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 and it's gone? You didn't want to say that, and you want to pull that back in. Our thinker, if we use the analogy of that we're a multi-processor computer, our thinking processor is the absolute slowest processor of all of it. When we need to logically think it through, it's nice, slow, constructed. But we throw ourselves into, we're driving, and somebody cuts us off. It's not the thinking mind that jumps in. It is the, oh my God, it's the fight or flight part of us that jumps in there. And then there's our history, our childhood, our part of us that I'm going to call the weeds of our existence, the bane of our existence, the weeds. They think before we do. And then, so we have the fight or flight to protect us. Then we have these weeds to protect us. And then we have this higher self that is the slowest, most methodical processor of them all. And that's the part that we as individuals, I know I as an individual claim to reside in, that higher spiritual realm. But I have two other thought processes that kick in even before. So as Bob said, that I want to thank Reverend Doug, because he had things to do. I got the opportunity to speak. And so thank you. But I also want to curse Reverend Doug, because all of a sudden, I normally would take 4 weeks. I would come up with a topic, and then I would mull about it, think about it, to how to go from transition, from the peaks to the valleys, to pull at you emotionally. How would I do this? I discovered I was speaking last Saturday, a week ago Saturday. And I'm like, oh, yeah, me and my big mouth, the part of me that says, yeah, I can do it, speaking before the conscious part to think it's all the way through, said yes. So now here I am. And then I'd forgotten that I was at my dad's for 3 days in this week. I do men's work. So Monday I was with my men's work, Tuesday with my dad, Wednesday with my dad, Thursday with my dad. Left me Friday. Well, in my men's work, everything went south on Friday, so I took away Friday, leaving me Saturday to come up with this wonderful experience. And all we can do is work with what we're given. And had I had firsthand knowledge that God was going to give me no time, I might have been a little lower in my raising my hand, but I didn't. So 2 weeks ago, my wife spoke, and she gave a beautiful, raw vulnerable talk, that she really shared a lot of truth for her. So that's hard to follow. And then last week, we had a beautiful presenter, Shirley Hill, talk, and she shared part of her Indigenous culture with us. And I'm like, I have to follow those two. Once again, not thinking this through. So I did, and it was beautiful. I'm here. So what is a weed? Well, I looked it up in the dictionary, and a weed is a hardy, vigorous plant with strong drive to grow and spread, especially in disturbed or unwanted place. Or a weed is life's relentless will to grow, showing up in places we have neglected, disturbed, or tried to control. Ooh. But then I went, so what is a weed of your mind, my mind? And a weed of the mind is a thought, belief, fear, memory, or an emotional pattern that grows in unintended places within us. We all have weeds. And it may initially start as protection. It may begin as pain, the loss of a loved one. And we shut down. I shut down. It may be someone else's words. And in the case of Tina, my wife, it was the word hope. She was shut down when someone, and I'll get to it later, talked about the word hope. So a weed can change. It can choke out our peace. It can crowd out and block compassion. And weeds grow because our mind is fertile. We don't care what we put in it. It will grow whatever thought we put into it. As I love this one. Life is, from Ernest Holmes' Science of Mind, life is a mirror and will reflect perfectly back to the thinker what they think into it. So it doesn't matter if I put a negative thought and I give it energy and I really focus on it and I just make it so. It will grow, it will blossom, the roots will be deep, and it will impenetrate my entire soul and existence. But ultimately, it's a weed. But a weed has a lesson for us. When we stop in the fight and flight, and we stop reacting, and we give ourselves the grace to really reflect, we can see that there's lessons. Because we understand this weed in our mind did not create the soil. It revealed itself in it. It showed us what we have neglected. It shows us what we need to care within us. And it shows us where we've stopped tending our inner garden. As Charles Fillmore said, thoughts are seeds, and the harvest you will reap will depend on the seeds you plant. One of the ways, we just have to know we have weeds. And we just have to stop pretending that they're there. Or they're not there. Just accept it. We have weeds. Unity principle number 3 teaches us that our thought have creative power. In simple language, what we think, feel, and believe and continually focus on shapes how we experience life. If we experience it from the positive, that's what will show up. I don't remember, there's a law, and it's not Pareto's law. There's a law that basically, you take a new car off the lot, and prior to you buying that car, you never saw it. But as soon as you are in that car and driving down, you will see it. It will be everywhere. So it's as soon as you are aware of something, you will see it everywhere. And that's what, when you only see the weeds, that's all you will ever see is weeds. And life will, at times, will seem unfair, unforgiving, because that's the rose-colored or the glasses that you were sharing or visioning from. If our thoughts are creative, if thoughts are creative, then thoughts are the seeds. Our beliefs are the roots to this seed. Our feelings become the moisture. And repetition is the sunlight. We have a perfect recipe for growing weeds or growing flowers. Our inner life becomes the garden we're tending. So why do we feed these rascally little things called weeds? Why do we give so much energy? Because weeds are loud. I don't know about you, but I've had the privilege of Spirit, God, the universe speaking to me. And it doesn't talk to me this loud. It talks to me really quiet, very subtle. But weeds really like to talk to me this loud and really get all my attention. Fear shouts. Shame grabs me by the throat. Resentment is a beautiful movie. Well, I'll teach them. Worry demands a meeting at 3 a.m. And it always wants you to bring snacks. How many times has some of us been at the fridge at 3 a.m.? Or how many of us have gone to pee and at 3 a.m. and we can't go back to sleep? And we blame the traffic. We blame the mosquito in there. Okay, that one might work. But we blame everything else. The deeper truth is we give energy to our weeds because they often feel like survival, because it's back to the fight and flight. Fear says, pay attention or something bad will happen. Shame says, fix this or I'll reject you again. We often say emotions can kill momentum when feeling runs behavior. I don't feel like doing something, so I don't want to do it. How many of you, I'll go to the gym tomorrow morning. And it's 7 o'clock when you're supposed to go to the gym. Oh gosh, that pillow feels really good. And we're there. The weeds can get us over feeling or under feeling. Our emotions can be so over the top, because that's to keep us safe, or so underwhelming. So we can be going through life like this, or we can be going through life like this, and it can be hiding our weeds. So Tina's talk 2 weeks ago, her weeds were despair, shame, financial loss. She was scammed for over $20,000, and she had a nervous system collapse because she trusted and she put faith into something that she just could not comprehend that somebody would do this. So she lost faith, she lost trust, and the belief that she had failed herself caused her to lose faith in God. And it all started with when they asked her to speak a time ago. She talked on hope, and she really didn't want to speak on hope last week. She didn't really, because she had lost hope. How could she, as a spiritual leader of our community, talk on hope when she, for a year, had lost hope? She had a bad teacher on hope. And her teacher told her to remove hope from her vocabulary. And that seed took root. So 3 years ago, a teacher said, remove hope from your vocabulary. So she did. Tina trusted in abundance. Tina was living in a place of lack. So there was an opportunity for an investment. Hook, line, and sinker. She went into it. They took her trust. They said all the beautiful things. And that hope that she had to get herself into a financial picture was used against her. And when it came out, she collapsed. All hope was gone. She had lost faith. And I'll tell you, my lessons, when you see someone you love hit the pit of despair, all your best intentions don't really matter. Because my old judgments, my old patterns, my old wounds, and my ways of thinking jump in. I, as a male, my job is to protect her. It's in my DNA, and I could not protect her. And it was clear we had two distinct and polar opposite of ways of processing hardship. I came from the school of hard knocks. I earned the badge of honor. I earned every scrape, scar, nick on this body because I earned it. I had to fight for everything. Tina was a gifted student. Everything came easy. She had never had to really dig deep and learn. So at 61 years old was the first time catastrophic harm was done to her. And she had no way, no coping mechanisms to solve this because she had never had to fight. I was not helpful. I had been married to this woman for at that time, 40 years, 39, almost 40 years. And she said she lost money. And I went, it's only money. Stabbed to her because she was in lack. I had mortally wounded someone that I loved with my very being and essence and soul. And it's because I knew it was just another hurdle. In my mind, I just knew, okay, yeah, so we'll just get over it. Then I discovered there is trauma and there is drama. And trauma you treat with a beautiful, kind, and respectful way. Drama you just give clarity to. I had to learn to discern what is trauma and what is drama. Which is, Tina was a drama major. So everything to me was drama. When it actually, in fact, was 80%, 90% trauma. So I had to learn that trauma needs compassion, trauma needs clarity, trauma needs safety, and drama needs accountability. Trauma says I'm deeply hurt and I need support. Drama says I'm overwhelmed and I do not know yet how to stand back up. I had to learn the differences. Tina had to learn the differences. And through it, there's a 3-step process that Tina had to learn, I had to learn, just to name it, to get to the weeds. As we're standing there and recognizing this is a weed, we needed to name it. What is this weed's name? So it was a lack of abundance. What is it? So she named it. Is it fear? Is it shame? Is it grief? Is it doubt? Because you can't heal what you can't honestly name. You need to trace it. Every weed has a root. You need to go back and find out what was the root cause of this. Where and when did it begin? Who planted this? What have I been feeding it with? And then comes the nourishment part. And only after you name it and trace it can you fertilize it and nourish it by replacing it. Because I can pull the weed and it's gone and throw it out. But unless nature abhors a vacuum, unless I put something in there that is positive, that will support that person, that weed is just going to grow because it's used to it and it's there. So you replace it. Positive affirmations. You replace it with a loving community. You replace it facing your fears, doing it, getting out of your comfort zone. You replace it by, as a community, with loving, supporting people. You replace it. And you honor and recognize that life can be hard. It's not perfect. It's hard. So my final message is Tina's despair was not good. The scam was not good. Her collapse was not good. But inside that field of weeds, she found the medicine she needed. Humility, to surrender to God, community, her nervous system care, because she just ran on adrenaline, a deeper faith, a restored hope, and the feeling that knowing God had not abandoned her. And watching in her, I found compassion. I'm still working on patience. I'm still working on less fixing, more present, and a clear understanding of discernment. Because everyone's level of rock bottom is different. And my rock bottom is here, and Tina's was here. So I had to discern and understand what rock bottom was for her without judgment. And that's why we're here in community. One of the reasons is we're here to support, care for each other, and not judge.